welcome to another episode of Unpacking Love. I'm so excited to have a fire guest in the house, you guys. When I tell you this lady is just fireworks, she is a vibe and a half. So I'm so excited to introduce Shae on the pod. Hey Shae, how's it going, girl?
Hey, I'm so excited to be here. Honestly, I can't wait. I can't wait to dive deep into it.
Yes, for a lot of people listening out here, maybe it's not a lot of you, maybe, but I know some of you for sure, right?
Yeah.
There is a struggle in this whole, talking to people and, dating people, just that phase before you're even in a relationship with someone, where sometimes we tend to get attached.
Yeah.
So today's topic is going to be around attachment. I'm also going to put in a plug right now for an attachment episode that I did. I did that with Kayla, who's a therapist, and that one was episode 67, and it's called Attachment Styles and Therapy. So in that one, she was diving into the different types of attachments that there are, like secure, anxious, etc. We're not going to be talking about that today, but we are going to be talking about attachment from just a getting attached to somebody, which you guys are like, how are you going to talk about a topic and then use the exact same word to describe it? But you guys are going to find out what we mean by attachment. So yeah, and how this all started was I was on Instagram and then I saw that Shae had posted on her story she shared a post that she had seen somewhere else. It's by at Farah Gray. And it said, I pray you never again get attached to a man who isn't for you. Come on, somebody.
Shaking tables.
I pray you never again get attached to a man who isn't for you. And you know what? I'm pretty sure there are some guys out there who do get attached. So you know what? Even for y'all, that you don't get attached to a woman who isn't for you. But
That's
since
right.
me and my guest Shae, we're women, we're gonna be talking about the other side where some attachments, some attachments have been attached, and some struggles have been overcome by the grace of God.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, some might be a work in progress, but it's okay, right?
But we'll get
Exactly. So, without further ado, girl, let us jump into it. So, in your words, what is attachment?
In my words, I'll say it's like a feeling of fondness, like an affection for someone or something because of sentimental value. That's how I would put it.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I love that. I feel like it's a very clean definition.
Yeah, very, very clean.
Very clean. Could you repeat that one more time for the people at the back?
It's can y'all hear me any louder? Okay, it's like fondness and great affection for someone or something because of sentimental value.
Okay, because of sentimental value. Okay. You know what? I'm going to give you guys maybe a street definition because this is more, the one that you gave us, I feel like is more dictionary. Okay. My definition, you guys, when I say I'm now attached to someone, what it means is for the most part during the day, I think about you multiple times. You're crossing my mind unprovoked, right? So for me, I would know that I'm attached to someone when it's I want to hear from them or I want to talk to them. That can be through anything. It could be through text, it could be you sending me a reel on Instagram.
Yeah.
But just that touch point. So then I'll know that I'm attached to someone when there's that desire or that longing to hear from that person. You guys probably have your own definitions as well, but we're gonna dig deep into this. So something that you mentioned, Shae, was something about the sentimental part of your definition. So can you go a little bit more into that?
A little bit deeper.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so when I mean sentiment, I mean something that holds great value, or that person that's something. Let me translate.
Okay.
That person where they do something of great value that it's so sentimental that it has that hold on you, that attachment because of that one specific thing that they did.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So quick question. Can this happen at any point? So it could be the talking stage, dating. Can that thing that they did be done there, or are you talking about in a relationship sense?
Yeah, it can be done in the talking stage.
Okay. Can you give us let us in? What is an example of something that you'd be oh, okay, this is something that could be considered of high value?
Okay, I'll give an example. It's not something that happened to me though, you know.
Okay.
But she had a series of toxic relationships, right? So when she met this person, something simple like buying flowers, or something simple like um buying her food or taking care of her, communicating well, it was of such great value that because of that one thing, she was then attached to him because she didn't have that before.
Damn. Man.
So like now somebody comes and just does that one thing, and you're like, oh my gosh, nobody has ever done this for me before. So I think this is it.
Man.
Little do you know, it's not it. It's not it.
Oh man. Do you know what?
Yeah.
Listen, I don't know if it's because I just came from church or what, but I felt that in
Come
my
on, go
spirit.
deeper. Go deeper.
I felt it in my spirit. Yo, I feel like the way you painted it, especially talking about the fact that, someone could have been you in this example that you gave, it was like a toxic series of toxic relationships. But sometimes
Yeah,
it might not even have been toxic. It could have been like you were in a relationship with someone and then they were taking you for granted, right? So it wasn't toxic, but they
exactly.
were not doing things that actually should be considered a bare minimum, right? It's something
Yeah.
that should be considered a bare minimum. So, for example, communication for me is a bare
Hmm.
minimum. It's like
Yes,
in any relationship, we need to be able to communicate. And so, if someone has come from like a relationship, long term relationship, where their partner was not able to communicate, and then
hmm
to your point, here comes this guy into the picture and he's able to communicate, you're like, oh
yeah,
my gosh, wow, wow, men like this do exist. But then it's like
yeah,
beyond men like this do exist, but it's now to your point, like the whole concept of I've found the one.
yeah.
Woo, man, I felt that.
It's deep.
It's hard, right? Because as people, if you've experienced certain things, or if you haven't experienced certain things, now the bare minimum, the things that are considered by everyone else like bare minimum are now over the top things for
Exactly.
you.
It becomes something great when it's not.
Exactly. So now you're attaching great sentimental value to your
Hmm.
definitions point, right? You're attaching great sentimental value to this one thing that they did that actually could
Yeah,
have just been like a very basic thing.
exactly.
Man. And as you said that, I'm also thinking about how sometimes too, um, we put more value on something than we should, right?
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
someone does something for you, maybe a guy does something for me. To them, they're just like, oh, maybe that's how they roll. They do it for everybody, right?
Yeah, yeah,
For them, they're just like, oh, this is a nice gesture that I've done. But
yeah.
because of me, the recipient, and like my past experiences, I'm now putting too much value on something that should have been like just basic. So now I'm a math girl. So now I'm extrapolating certain things
Oh,
that the
okay.
graph, there was
We
no,
love a learned girl. Okay.
like you had no business extrapolating, right? Like that whole thing of
Hmm.
saying, oh, because he did this, that means he really likes me. Because honestly, I
Exactly.
feel like some of the situations, wow, look at me saying some of the situations, like I have multiple attachments, things that have happened. Let me say, in situations that like, some of these things have happened, it really
Hmm.
is that where it's like, I think it all starts in your mind sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like the other person is not to blame. They definitely are, as we'll talk more about it. But like sometimes we end up attached because we're overthinking things that someone has done instead of just taking things at face value.
Hmm. Hmm.
Wow.
Hmm.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And then let's unpack the part of the definition where it talks about fondness, right? So, like, in your own words, how would you define fondness?
Okay, when you're fond of something, you enjoy being around that person. Being
Mm,
fond of someone means you crave is a strong word, but you desire to be like close to them. You desire to hear from them. You desire to talk to them. Like you're fond of them. They
hmm
give you
hmm
they give you the vibe that you just want to be close to them all the time.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I can't even add anything to that because that's really how I would define fondness as well. So I think you hit it on the head right there.
Hmm.
Okay, so I think we've really hit on the definition of attachment. So now let's talk more about how we end up getting attached. And you went into that when you were saying, some of the experiences that you could have had in your past could influence how quickly you get attached to someone.
Hmm. I feel like sometimes when you lose your guard,
Come on.
when you when you let down your guard and like fully trust someone, I feel like for women, when we do that, it's easy for us to get attached to somebody who might be good for us or who could be toxic. Because I've seen it happen even with myself. Like once it's like you put me in a place where I feel so comfortable around you. And that moment I trust you, that's the moment I start getting attached.
Okay. So when we say let's talk about this from the context of you're not in a relationship with the person.
In the
Still
talking phase.
talking, yeah, in the talking phase, right? When you say like you trusted him, what does that mean? And when you say you let down your guards, what does that mean? You don't have to tell us like specific things that you did, but like, just a general high level picture.
Okay, so in the talking stage, yeah, I'm a very guarded person. So for me, if you're able to peel away those layers
Mm.
and if you're able to make me open up in the talking stage, for me, I can easily trust you. And that's when I let my guard down and then I start opening up even more.
The floodgates.
Yeah, the floodgates just open like I think think we can go deeper.
Oh my gosh. Okay, sounds good. And when you say guarded, right? What
Mhm.
does that mean? Like, is that just how you are as a person? Like in all types of relationships, whether it's like friendships, like family, what does guarded mean in this case?
In this case, okay, in terms of relations, actually, maybe family also and friendships. Um, I protect I protect my heart, you know, um, so that I'm not easily heartbroken. I'm not easily like susceptible to like everything these guys be throwing at me. So it's a defense mechanism, actually. One that I also kind of need to work on. But it's more of a defense mechanism because I once was so heartbroken that I was like, men are trash and I ain't gonna do this anymore. So from now on, from now on, we're protecting this heart. So that's what I mean by like guarded is now I take my time to get to know somebody. I don't let you in easily.
Okay, so then
Yeah.
to your point, the moment when a guy is able to tap into that part of you, and you see yourself
Hmm.
just, letting him in on letting him into your heart, basically,
Yeah.
then you know that you're attached to the person.
Yeah.
Okay, and so for you, it's kind of like equating, which is, I guess I see how the trust part comes, is because the fact that this person has gotten you to even talk, in your mind you're like, oh, there must be something about this person, and now because you
Exactly.
trust them
Yeah.
even more, you keep telling them more information.
Yeah.
Yo, can I just say that you're very, very self-aware, and honestly, power to you. Okay,
I
power
try.
to you.
I try.
Thank you so much for sharing, Shae. I will say one of the ways that I got attached, so ah, wow, even just thinking about it. Do you know what?
It's okay. Open up. Tell us the gist.
There was one time when I was like, I was talking to some person, not
Hmm.
in a really romantic way, like a friend or whatever, and I was like, listen, it's very possible to get heartbroken in the talking stage, guys, because
Yes,
listen,
it is.
I
It is. It is.
I was there. Let me tell you, it does not take a man being like, oh, we're in a relationship for the heart to break. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so just looking at that situation and like trying to think about how I got attached. So this guy, right? Let me let you guys in. So we met online. It was online dating. So,
Hmm.
we swiped right, we swiped right.
Okay, swiping.
Um, right? Okay. So then, things are going well. So like we started messaging on the app. And I was like, because first of all, you know how it is with online dating. You see a profile and like you like what you see. Like,
Hmm.
and when I say like what you see, it's not just the physical, it's like, the substance
The
behind the
substance,
person.
and yeah.
So anyway, so we start messaging. Let's just say we started messaging on like a Friday, right?
Hmm.
By the time we got to Sunday, this guy. He was like,
Hmm.
"Here's my number." So like we can just move the conversation from the app to texting. Which at this point, let it be very clear, guys, in case people are listening and they're like, "Wow, Michelle, you got attached in 2 days." I did
Yeah,
not.
that
This
was
was
fast. Yeah, me too. I'm
this
like,
no 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 no
girl.
no no no. I was not attached. But you know what? I was like, you know what? That's fine. Like I can text the guy. He's not a creep. He didn't seem like he was
Yeah,
a creep.
there's no harm actually. There's no
No
harm.
harm. It's just a number. Let me tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so I sent him my number. So then, no, actually, I text him. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
hey, this is Michelle, whatever. So we start texting, and probably like, I don't know, within a day or two or something like that, he was like, oh, we should do FaceTime, which is actually, hey, for anybody who's online dating, it is good for you to like meet somebody
Mm-hmm.
virtually at least and like see if you like what you
The
see. Because
person. Yeah,
listen,
exactly.
ain't no way you're gonna be talking to someone for 3 months and you haven't seen them. Okay. So I was like, you know what? Sounds good. So then we
Uh-huh.
started video calling. This is where all the problems start. Now, let me tell you. So we video called, right? And
Mm-hmm.
the conversation, when I tell you, the conversation was flowing, flowing. And it wasn't like, oh, we're talking like, oh,
Mm.
I like you and blah, blah, blah. No, it was just like when
Yeah.
you're getting to know someone and whatever. And instantly it was like we just had a connection. Let's just call it like a friendship connection. But obviously
Yeah.
yeah, like, okay, like it was a friendly conversation, which was good. And there was no awkwardness. There was just feeling very comfortable and being able to talk to this person. Okay. So then what now happens? See, the thing is, I did not realize as it was happening. It's easier to say in retrospect, right? So what
Yeah.
then started happening was like, we'll be messaging like every day. So
Yeah.
every morning, this guy would say good morning to me. So then, like, I'm like, oh, good
You
morning,
are
and blah,
used
blah,
to
blah.
those good morning messages. Ah.
Let me tell you, when those good morning messages disappear, guys, you feel like you need life
You feel
support. Like you
hurt.
need
You're like,
oxygen.
what
Yes,
exactly? Like, what happened? You're
yes.
so used to waking up and you're seeing that good morning text, man. That's something.
Girl, let me tell you. So anyway, right now, it's still like the good morning text, and like during the day, like he's messaging me like we're checking. And the thing is, at this point, I feel like I'm in control, right?
Yeah.
I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, that's nice. Good morning. Okay, that's nice. And we're
Mm-hmm.
messaging here and there. Okay, so then now the calls are now, we're having FaceTime calls now
Cool.
every
Mm-hmm.
night.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Okay.
well, long story short, because right now we're not
Mm.
going to do a whole episode on this one scenario. Okay. Long story short, with all the FaceTimes, and then on top of it, like when he would go and visit some of his friends, he
Yeah.
would FaceTime me. He would introduce me to his
To
friends.
his friends. Uh-huh.
So then now I'm like, any moment now, I will be
Yeah.
his girlfriend. It is
Exactly.
coming. Let me tell you something. Let
Oh,
me tell you something.
my
So
shit.
let us
Mm.
put a pin in that part, in that story. And what I will say is how I got attached to him was there was a constant talking to this person. He's messaging me all the time. We're
Yeah.
FaceTiming, and all these things are happening when he's with his friends. Like I'm talking to his friends. Like he
Uh-huh.
keeps
Uh-huh.
me like basically all the little things that would happen in a relationship were happening.
What happening
But
already?
right. And also I should say also this person was like in a different state, and
Uh-huh.
we and then yeah, because of how things were set up, it was like earlier parts of the pandemic, like 2020, pretty
Okay.
much,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So then
Mm-hmm.
because of how things were set up, it took us a while to then like meet in person. But anyway, you guys don't need to hear all of that part. All I'm gonna say
Mm-hmm.
is how I ended up getting attached to this person was there was constant communication and FaceTiming me and all of that. And so now mentally, and here's the thing, right? Some people are able to like you get all sorts of advice from people. Some people will tell you,
Yeah.
hey, when you're in that talking stage, talk to multiple people,
Yeah.
diversify,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Even when you're like still just
Don't put your eggs
dating.
in one basket, kind of
Right.
thing.
And even when you're
Mm-hmm.
still dating and like, you're not exclusive with anybody, you are on the
Mm-hmm.
market, talk to many people. Here's the problem,
Mm-hmm.
guys. Like
You are talking to him only.
theoretically, yes, theoretically, right? Theoretically speaking. The way you laughed.
I
Theoretically
felt it. Don't
speaking,
worry, I felt it.
like it's supposed to work. But then when you're now in the situation, so obviously let's talk about this situation that I was talking about. In the first
Yeah.
like few days, right? Or like the first week or so, of course I was still on the app and I'm still like talking to people. But what happens to me especially is especially once I'm invested in this person and this
Yeah.
person is just feeding into like we're in constant communication all the time, I have no
Mm-hmm.
interest. Anyway, and other people would be liking my
Mm.
profile. I'm not even checking for you like that. For me, it's
Yeah.
like it's done. So people do say talk to many people, but truthfully speaking, for me, once I like someone,
You just
then
focus on them.
yeah, it's like game
Uh-huh.
over. My eyes are closed. So this
Yeah.
is what I'll say. How I got attached in that was like there was constant communication, and then also just the whole thing of like now it was just me talking to this one person. So that's what I would say.
Yeah.
What are some of the ways that you think people end up getting attached?
Attached. I think also when you become codependent on someone.
Oh, talk about it.
Yay! Yeah. Yeah. When you become so codependent and rely on somebody, I feel like that builds an even stronger attachment issue, especially in a relationship, actually. This one will be in terms of a relationship.
Okay.
Because I feel like even if you're in a relationship, you should have some form of independence.
Right.
Yeah, you shouldn't just be like codependent where you do everything together. You can't live without each other. You know that you need some space sometimes. Yeah, you need some space sometimes.
She
And I feel
said,
like
"Don't be on that man like white
no,
on
no, no,
rice."
don't be, don't be. Yeah, and I feel like codependency, because I've seen it happen to some people, and it just doesn't end well every single time. Every single time.
Damn, how many like how many situations did you see? I'm like, ma'am.
Hey, yeah, it's hard in these streets, man. You know it's hard. You know it's hard
So
sometimes.
like, okay, with the codependence, I get what you're saying. Like, okay, there's no independence, so you do everything with this person. I guess you could
Hmm.
also even add the fact that if this person is your provider, like full
Oh
provider,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I guess you can get into that part of, let's say for example, like they pay your rent. Let's
Ish,
just say they
yeah,
pay your
ish.
rent or something like that. I guess you could also be attached because you could also just be like, oh, like they're doing all these things for me, which might mean like I think all of it also it comes down to sometimes the value that we put on something that's been done for us might actually not hold the same amount of weight to the other person. So let's say for example,
Hmm, hmm,
if
hmm,
I'm dating a guy who's like well off, well off, well off, okay, and let's say like every month he pays for my rent,
hmm.
I might be like, oh my gosh, wow, he really loves me. That's why he provides for me. But then for him, like the money could actually just not even mean that much. Like to him, it's just like, oh,
Exactly. To him, it's nothing.
right, it's pennies. So yeah, so I'll say that. I will also say the situations of these attachment things. I'm not gonna say if it's the same situation as the one that I painted. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you guys. That same
Yeah.
person. Let's continue my
Okay,
talking
go
to this
deeper. I think
person.
you just need an episode on this person. You know, like
I'm telling
let's
you,
do
yo,
it.
I am telling you, I'm telling you. I was
The laugh for me.
brewing and cooking in my emotions for like probably 3.5 months, 4 months, right?
Okay.
And of
Okay.
course, as we grow, guys, you learn. You learn that there's certain mistakes that you shouldn't make. Me and this guy, because we were talking for so long, and like
Uh
we
huh.
would have deep conversations too. Like we
Uh
wouldn't say
huh.
we would marry each other, but we would talk about things like marriage, right? And we would
Marriage and
talk
stuff.
about like
Uh-huh.
kids and blah blah blah. Now, another reason or like another avenue of how we end up getting attached is not living in the present. In my head, I had married this man.
Yay! That's an issue we all have.
Yes. And it's like, because everything was just aligned, right? You talk about things that you have on your list, things that you want out of a guy
Mhm.
and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And all the boxes, honey, they were checked. And now that I'm even talking to this person, like, you start to see, oh, wow, we have similar family
Mhm,
values. I
mhm,
like the
mhm.
man that he is. Because also, like, this guy, he was like a few years older than me. So then, when I
Okay.
would like tell him, say, like an issue I had at work, like he was low key giving me mentoring. I was like, wow, I see growth. I see,
Mhm,
you're
mhm.
seeing like a whole lot of things,
You
right?
see? Yeah.
But that whole thing, let me tell you, the worst thing about how when all of this then ended, right, with this
Yeah.
person, was like the breakup is not only, and you see people even like, why are you talking about breakup when you're on a talking stage? But the heartbreak is not just about the
Yeah.
fact that hearts still break even when there's no relation. The heartbreak though is no longer just like I'm hurting because I'm not talking to this person anymore. I'm now
Mhm.
trying to have a divorce with the man I married.
Yeah, exactly. You married him in your head, and it's harder
Yes,
because it's like you're grieving what could have been.
girl. Yes. Oh, you know how to speak English. Yes.
And that's the hard part because we formulated this whole like life in your mind and stuff. You fantasized how it's going to be, and then all of a sudden it's cut short. Man, that's like the hardest part. Like
Man.
grieving what could have been. Oh, I
Oh, let me tell you. Oh, wow, I was in pain.
you're being paid. You're
I was
being
in pain. So you know what? What did I learn from this, right?
mm,
What I learned is, and this goes into some of the things that we could practically even do. so that we don't get too attached quickly to
Mm-hmm.
people. I learned that there needs to be boundaries in that talking stage. Or
Yeah.
when I'm talking to someone, I need to have boundaries in terms of like time invested in this person, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the more, especially when like, the person has checked some of your boxes, the more you talk to them, the more you feel like, oh my gosh, that fondness. And the more you're
Yes,
like,
yeah.
oh, I need to keep talking to you.
To this
Like,
person. Mm-hmm.
yeah, like you make my day so much brighter. Like I want to talk to you. So like boundaries in terms of time that's spent with someone. And then also even boundaries in terms of, and I think it ties in well with what you said
Mm-hmm.
about letting someone in.
Mm-hmm.
So having boundaries on how much to disclose to someone, right?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
I
Yes.
think once I feel comfortable with someone, it's
Uh-huh.
easy for me. Like if I, to your point, if I feel comfortable with someone and I trust them, it's like easier for me to like disclose information,
Disclose more. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? And I just like keep letting them in on certain things. So yeah, so that's definitely another thing that I learned.
Mm-hmm.
How about for you though? Like, what are some things that you feel like okay you could do to not get
Uh-huh.
attached to people quickly?
I think my point ties into yours actually, just to take your time, like when we're in the talking stage, take your time to get to know the person. There's no rush. Don't rush it. Just
Girl,
take
but it's
your
easier
time.
said than done. What do you mean
I know,
take
because
your
with
time? What
time,
does
like,
that mean?
things will always be revealed in time, right? So it's like, save yourself the heartache by just taking time and like getting to know the person, because the person is going to reveal who they truly are. And you end up seeing the crimson flags, them red flags, and you save yourself the heartache and just run. Just move away.
But the question is this, right?
Yeah.
When you say take your time,
Hmm.
what's a number you could throw out there of like say an example of number of months to take to get to know someone?
The thing is, I've done a talking stage for like 6 months. So I don't know now if that's normal or not.
Was that successful
Because
at the end? Did you go into the relationship?
I did actually.
Okay.
But then the relationship ended after another 6 months. But
Oh, girl, R.I.P. to the relationship. I'm sorry. I felt that. I
yeah.
felt that. But do you know what?
Mhm.
Man, it's such a tricky thing, right? Because yes, there's that part of like take your time to get to know someone. But I
Uh-huh.
feel like we actually need tips for
Uh-huh.
how
Uh-huh.
do you not catch feelings, say in the 6 months that you were talking to this guy? How did you not get attached to him in the talking stage?
Okay, with this particular ex of mine, I
Hmm.
wasn't communicating as much. Like, it wasn't like an everyday thing. So now I
Okay.
was kind of protecting myself, so that, because I knew that, okay, if I keep talking to this guy every day like this, it's not going to be good for me. So we'll talk like we'll talk like here and there, maybe it's like alternative days or so. I would say that
And these were phone calls or texts or a mix?
these were texts.
Okay. Oh wow, you are guarding your heart.
No, the
Okay.
thing is that I think was just on the other end, because I feel like if you're trying to get me though, like, show me something. Because we're in the same town. You're literally like 10 minutes away from me. You can call me, you can do all that stuff, but like he wasn't. So, it was just, I'm trying to feel you. I don't know if you're feeling me. So I'm like backing away, but
Mm,
at the same time, I'm like trying to get to know you. You know, that confusion state, like you don't know what the other person is thinking.
yeah, yeah. That is a valid point, right? Where it's like, okay, maybe not talking every day because honestly, I feel like that's the problem for me, or that's
Hmm.
been a
Hmm. Hmm.
problem, right? Where I have gotten attached. If you're feeding, oh, it sounds like I have a problem. I don't have a problem.
You don't have a problem, girl.
I
It's
don't have
not.
a problem. But like, if like we're talking all the time, multiple times during the
Hmm.
day, you
Hmm.
know, now like when that doesn't happen, I'm like, oh my gosh, especially not especially when I really, really like you, that becomes a problem
Yeah.
because I'm like, oh my gosh, So I think to your point, like kind of stretching things out helps a lot.
Hmm. Hmm.
And the reason why I was asking you about like what taking your time means is because I feel like sometimes, right? Like I've even
Yeah.
had people come on the podcast. Like I did a series last year with married couples where they were
Yeah.
sharing their love stories.
Hmm.
And sometimes someone will go on a date, a first date, right?
Yeah.
And the date is meant to be like, I don't know, an hour and a half or 2 hours long, but they hit it off and it ends up being a 9 hour conversation. And like this one girl, she was telling me, she's like, oh yeah, like when she met her husband,
Mm-hmm.
and when they went on their first date, they talked about, obviously, if you talk for 9 hours, you're talking about all sorts of things. They went deep, even in that first conversation. So I feel like even that whole thing of like taking your time,
Mm-hmm.
it's not easy to take your time if you're doing intense things like
Mm-hmm.
all the time. So and by intense right now, what I'm talking about is like say FaceTime calls, right? If I am doing FaceTime calls with someone and we're talking on the phone for like an hour today, tomorrow we talk
Mm-hmm.
2 hours, the next day 3 hours, 4 hours,
Mm-hmm.
that's like, that's information that could have been consumed over like say 6 months by somebody else through
Yeah.
texting, right? So then I think maybe there is something to be said about pacing yourself and having those boundaries of saying, look, I am not trying to have 10-hour conversations with you because listen, I'm not trying to get attached. Because then in 10 hours too, you're not talking about fluff. You're talking about all
No,
sorts of things, right?
yeah, you're talking about deep things. You're talking about traumas at this point. Like 10
For
hours is a long
real.
time. Yeah, it's a long time.
Yeah. What's your take on, the technique or strategy that some people recommend, which is talking to multiple people at the same time? Have you been successful in that?
I've yeah, that one is tough. It's tough, but like I think I'm like you. We're the same actually. In terms of, okay, I know everybody says don't put your eggs in one basket, but for me, once I have that person who's doing everything that I like and want, I automatically like focus on that and excommunicate the other ones.
Hey! Oh my gosh, the choice of words. Okay, so you also, I guess, are similar, but I guess maybe
Yeah, a bit
to your
similar, yeah.
point, because with your ex, for example, you had paced it, right? Like it had gone over like 6 months.
Hmm.
So yeah, so I guess that makes a lot of sense. I think something that you also mentioned with your ex story and how you were able to do like the 6 months talking stage was there was that thing of being unsure of whether the person is about you or not
Yeah,
really, right? Because they
yeah,
were not doing the most or you're not meeting
yeah.
up
They
all
were
the
not.
time and all of that.
Yeah,
Right. You are unsure of the energy. I think
yeah.
sometimes the issue comes when the person is putting pressure. Okay. And by putting pressure, what
Like,
I mean is like you're messaging, and when you message, they quickly respond. You're talking on the phone all the time. Like they're doing all sorts of just like random things, right? So then
hmm.
in that case, I think also something to take note of is, just because you're talking all the time with this person does not actually necessarily mean that this person likes you like that.
Yeah, it could just be like a friendship, just a bond, not necessarily leading to a relationship.
Yes.
Yeah.
There are times when, and it's gonna be really bad to say, but there are times when I am bored. So it's
Yes.
out of boredom. And let me tell you, boredom is one of the worst things because in boredom, this is how you start talking to someone multiple times, and now
Yeah,
you're catching feelings that you had no business doing, right? But
exactly.
because I had nothing to do, and this person essentially, like, the conversation starts. And when the conversation, the vibes are vibing, and you're
Hmm.
continuing to just talk, talk, talk. Now, next thing, boredom has given birth to a talking stage. And maybe, like, not only that, but it's given birth to attachment. So I think that
Yeah.
also becomes an issue as well.
Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh.
I think another thing is being clear of what you're looking for, right? Because you just said, for example, sometimes when someone is talking to you, they're just enjoying the friendship that's growing.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
so if like you guys are talking and the person on the other end, they're like, oh yeah, like this is a really good friend of mine. But
Yeah.
you have ulterior motives, or you see that you're starting to like this person and you want to be more than friends,
Mhm,
then that could also be an issue. Because
mhm.
now this person, maybe they're just talking to you because they enjoyed the conversation, they enjoyed the friendship, but that's it. And you're like, oh my gosh, because this person is talking to me a lot, they like me. But that's not it, right? And now it's like,
Yeah,
oh my gosh, I cannot function with this person or without this person.
yeah.
Are there any other things that you can think of?
Well, I'm Christian, so I'm a Jesus lover, so I'll just take you to church a second. I
Amen, sis. Amen.
think the best thing that one person could do is just pray about it, you know? When you're getting to know somebody, pray about it. Ask the Holy Spirit what he's saying about this guy and just save yourself the heartache, the traumas, the everything, and just pray about it.
Okay, so let's talk about that. I like that you're bringing prayer into this because people have very different praying styles.
Yeah.
What are some sample prayers that you have prayed?
In terms of my relationships, and it always works, guys. I always pray, like in the beginning, Lord, if it's not for me, just destroy it. If it's for me, then let it be so. Literally 2 days later, something will happen. Something will happen.
But you know, the problem is sometimes too, I think it's about like the timing of the prayer, right? Because
Yeah.
oh man, and I actually remember there was this time years ago,
Uh-huh.
men or something. Not all men, but some men are
That
something.
man.
So I was
Yeah.
talking to some guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And behold, feelings had been caught. So
Mm-hmm.
anytime this guy would be texting me, I'll be sitting with like friends or whatever. Anytime this guy would text me, the
Mm-hmm.
smiling it's literally like everyone could be having conversation. It just goes mute. I can't hear anything.
Yeah.
I'm just smiling at my phone because at this moment the only person who exists is this guy. So
Yeah.
then earlier on, when I was even talking to the guy, one of my really close friends, she was like, Michelle, because she saw me smiling because we were
Yeah, she saw you
roommates too at the
smiling. Yeah.
time. She's like, Michelle, have you prayed about him? We should pray. I said, my friend, hold off on prayer.
Yes.
Please, let me just enjoy this one now because of the very fact that
Because you knew, probably deep down, you knew that if I'm to pray about this one, I might just lose it.
listen, I'm telling you exactly. So yes, okay, I like what you said about like praying. So I guess some of the prayers have been like, okay, to your point, if this isn't for me, then destroy
Mm-hmm.
it. I also think though sometimes
Mm-hmm.
we'll get signs, but it depends on how far you're in to this person already. Because
Yeah.
sometimes it's like you yourself know I'm not supposed to be with this person,
Yes. Yeah. And then you continue.
but you're like, you know what, it could change, right? And so you continue to just hold on. And I think
Yeah.
what time does too is like time, I feel, just builds more attachment. Like if you're
Yeah.
already attached to this person, the more time you spend with them, the stronger the bond you end up having with someone. But I really like what you said about like just having praying to God. I think a prayer that I
Mm-hmm.
have not prayed is, you know, and the Bible says there's that verse about guarding your heart, right? Like guard your heart because out of it come the well springs of life. And to be honest,
Mm-hmm.
that's one of those verses that I know, but to be honest, do I really understand what guarding my heart is? Based on my prior experience, clearly it's just
That's a good question.
has no understanding, right? So a prayer that I have not prayed
Mm-hmm.
is praying for my heart and for me not to get attached, because I think also that's another prayer, right?
Yo, that's I'm writing that down because I never prayed about that part.
Right, right, because I think like praying that like, oh God, if it's not from you, take it away. I mean, like sometimes, and I think that's another thing too. I was reading up on this and it said sometimes people are in your life for a season.
Yes.
So this person, if a seasonal person, it could even be, this could be someone who's even like a friend or like
Uh-huh.
a
Uh-huh.
female person, right? And if you start to say, oh, this person is supposed to be my best friend for the rest of my life, and if their assignment was to just be seasonal, then you're setting yourself up for disaster, right?
For
So for
disaster, yeah, you're right.
example,
Mm-hmm.
there's somebody who I caught feelings for and blah blah blah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and we didn't end up being in a relationship with that person. And at the end of the day, I was like, you know what, I can't even continue talking to this person because I won't be able to take it. My heart can't do it, right?
Yeah, you're hot, yeah.
So that person, though, while we were still talking, I
Mm-hmm.
actually learned a lot of things about this person because we had similar dreams and kind of things that we wanted out of
Mm-hmm.
life. Now, I strongly believe now that there are some people who we have no business catching feelings for.
Mm-hmm.
We like if I had remained friends with this person up until now. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, God is still able to do a lot of things in my life, obviously. But
Yeah.
like, had I remained friends with this person, I would have had someone who had dreams that are aligned with mine, and we could have encouraged each other in pursuits of that, right? But
Yeah, yeah.
because I went ahead, I fell in love. Okay, fell in love is strong. I got attached, right? And then now
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
look, I cannot continue to be in touch with you because yeah, this is not good for my own health. So I
Yeah.
think some of those things to just praying like, okay, God, please, oh, help me guard my heart and give me the strategies to not get attached. And then
Mm-hmm.
that prayer that you said, like, if it's not for me, God, please take it away. And then the
Like,
other
yeah.
thing that maybe is to pray to have I think it's discernment. That's really what it is.
Yes.
Discernment to
Yes.
be able to be like, okay, with this person, how should I categorize them? Like, should this person just be like a friend, or is there something else that's coming out, from this with this person? Oh, I
Mm-hmm.
really like it. A prayerful hand. I love it.
Yes, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Is there any advice you have to people out there who are currently in the trenches of attachments?
Yay. Um, um, be bold and have the courage to step away.
Wow.
I know it's hard when us ladies we get attached. It's so hard to leave the person because we make them like our world,
Hmm.
and we don't want to move away from them because we feel like I won't find another person like this. But just the best advice I can say: be bold, have courage, take a step back, work on yourself, heal, like take time to heal and
Mm.
know what you want from like in a relationship, know how you want to be treated, know how you want to treat the other person because we also carry our own traumas, it goes both ways.
Hmm.
Yeah, and most importantly, pray about it.
I absolutely, absolutely love that. And I think the other thing that I'll also add to what you said is doing things to distract yourself, right? Because I
Yes.
think sometimes,
Yo, that's yeah, I felt that one.
yeah, yeah, do things to like distract yourself. So like I think I really like what you said about working on yourself because that's something that's actually productive. But then
Hmm.
also just doing certain things to not obsess over someone who you have no business obsessing over. So for example, I've noticed that like if I go out and I hang out with my friends, like
Hmm.
the other day I was with a friend of mine for like 6 hours, right? And that's happened multiple times with like, different friends or whatever. If I
Hmm.
go and I hang out with friends for that time that I'm there, I'm not even thinking about this person, right?
Yeah.
I'm not thinking about, oh, let me text this person. I think just having other things in your life that are going
Hmm.
on will help kind of distract you
Yeah.
from it. And I also was looking up some articles online to just see what other people have done. And I saw something that said this woman was saying like for her, she had designated times where she would talk to the person. So if it's
Okay.
outside of that time frame, she wouldn't talk to the person, right?
That's very
That takes a
practical.
Yeah, and that takes a lot of discipline too. So maybe it could be like, you know what? I will allow myself to talk to this person um like maybe in the evening, right?
Hmm.
And that's the time that you talk to them. And she was like, not going to your phone every time to check if they've like messaged you,
Hmm.
and I think also another thing, which thankfully that is not my issue because I think my pride just won't allow me to do this. But I know that there are also some people who, when they are attached, they'll send multiple messages to someone or like they'll call
Yes.
them. And me, I will not. I will
Hey.
be dying inside, but
Yes.
I will not. I will not message you
Hmm.
multiple times and I
Hmm.
call you multiple times. So I think also some other techniques that people are saying were just like, if you see that like, okay, you've messaged this person a few times or like you've messaged them, and I think this person actually said, I have a two text rule. The maximum number of
Yes.
texts that I will send you is two messages. If you're not going to respond to me, then like message received. So I think
Yeah. Yeah.
also just I think to what you said, like being bold, especially when you see that, okay, I'm attached to this person and this is actually not going anywhere. And sometimes, and let me also say this, right? We don't only get attached to people who we know we actually see a future with. So what I
Hmm.
mean by that is, let's say, for example, I meet someone, right? And very quickly, I'm like, oh, this person is missing two fundamental things from my list of things that I'm looking for in a spouse or in
Yeah.
a husband, right? These are
Hmm.
deal breakers, and this person is missing them. You can
Hmm.
still very much get attached to this person if you fit into that like multiple like communicating all the time and just
Hmm.
having
Hmm.
all this conversation. So like sometimes the heart would just overrule even your brain
Yeah.
and what you're thinking about. So it's important to kind of put those things and safeguard, you know,
Hmm. Hmm.
like safeguard your feelings and all of that.
Yeah. That's good advice. That's good advice.
Listen, this is so therapeutic. I feel so heard. I feel so seen. So
I
you
really
know
enjoyed
what?
it.
I enjoyed it too. So thank you so much, Shay, for coming on the pod.
Thank you so much for having me. It was such an honor. I had so much fun actually. It was like having a conversation with my big sister, so therapeutic. So I had so much fun.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. And it's so nice also because when we're having this conversation, you like brought in some examples. So that's like, from friend stories or from your own stories. I think it's
Hmm.
much easier to like explain something from experience too. So thank you for being vulnerable and for being open with us. And to everybody who was listening, Shae and I would love to hear from you about some of the practical things that you guys do to not get attached. So
Yes,
hit me up in
please.
the DMs, and I would love, love, love to hear from you. So to everybody who was listening, thank you so, so much once again. Make sure that you rate the pod, leave some stars, okay? And I will catch you guys in the next episodes. Peace. Ndiwe wandiro ya moyo wangu, ndiwe wandiganganiza fungwa zangu.